See my Facebook, there's a warfare going on. A lot of people do not understand. Because the moment you arrive into this world, understand that there's already like programs against you. And those programs attract your mentality, they attract your spirituality, they attract your person. And that's why you are introduced into a system that has nothing to do with you. You are introduced into a culture, a lifestyle, a heritage that has nothing to do with you. Popularly known as Akummiri. And the topic of discussion today is about being proud of your Igbo heritage. But it's impossible to be proud of something that you do not know. It's impossible to be proud of something that you are not aware of. So self-realization comes first. Understanding who you are, understanding why you're here. And as an Igbo nation, as an Igbo people, we are a spiritual people. We are energetic people, we are energetic beings, and everything that we do is spiritual. Everything about us is spiritual. Understanding why we do what we do and how to do it is very core part of being Igbo people. And the relationship you have with yourself and within yourself is one of the most fierce battles you are going to face, especially for one who is coming from a borrowed identity. And when I mean a borrowed identity, I mean being of a religion that is not of yours, being from attaching yourself to a religion that is not from your core self. Because as Igbo people, our soul is what makes us, and we are a sacred soul, embodying this human flesh. And so therefore, if you have been, most of us, including myself, have been born into a religion that is not part of us, it has no connection, it has no relationship, it has no foundation with who we are. And therefore, you cannot connect with a deep level of awareness, following that truth or following that pattern. So in order to fully awaken and in order to fully understand what it means when we're talking about spiritual awakening in Igbo land, we're talking about knowing who you are. Because that is the core and that is the fundamental part of your spirituality. And when we even talk about culture, when we talk about tradition, every culture has its spiritual inclination. We cannot talk about culture without having a spiritual attachment to it. And so knowing who you are comes with, understanding the core aspects of your spirituality, of your identity. And when a lot of people have been attached to a false sense of identity, a false sense of a borrowed identity, that I like to say is because it has no connection with you due to colonization and being born into a system that is already rigged against you, is already programmed against you. A lot of people do not understand this because they feel like, it's just modernization, civilization, but it's beyond that because it's targeted against your identity. And anything that is targeted against your identity reduces you to a large extent. And, for a lot of spiritual religion, or let me just call it religion as a whole, when you are born into a religion that has nothing to do with you, one of the first things they do is to give you a name. Be it Christianity, be it Muslim, you identify with a name. And the moment you name something, you've given it a new meaning. And that meaning becomes what it is to a very large extent. So somebody that should be, bearing an Igbo name and identifying as such, begins to claim an English name or a Spanish name or a French name because it sounds cool. It sounds like something that people should relate with. It sounds like something that is in tune with civilization or modernization, but it doesn't identify with your soul. And your soul is sacred. Your soul is ancient. Your soul has been here several times and it will keep coming back. Because we are, doing into something that has to do with our spirituality. You cannot separate who you are as a people person as with your spirituality. You cannot separate the two. We are spiritual beings, we are sacred beings, and we are not just here to fill space. We are here for a purpose, we are here to, and self-identification as regards our roots, as regards our culture, is an integral part of who we are. Now, I just want to touch a little bit about the name thing, because words are sounds, and sounds have interpretation. Sounds have meaning. Sounds and words are one and the same thing. And that's why there's a sound somebody will make here, and you already interpret what that person is trying to say or what the person is feeling just by the sound that the person makes. And same goes with calling yourself a name that's not attached to you. Same goes with identifying with a God, like calling yourself maybe, you're a child of Abraham, you're, a child of the God of Israel and all that. And I'm speaking on this because even though people find it like sensitive, but I have to actually speak about it. Because as an Igbo person, you have no relationship with that. And you cannot say you want to be proud of your heritage, and then you are catching something that has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your soul. Your soul cannot identify, it cannot interpret, it cannot express expressively with it. So it's very important that, and again, for every person that, goes into, has this, expresses spiritual awakening, one of the first things is definitely that you begin to ask yourself questions. 4 questions. Some people have, like visions, dreams, and all that. And the visions and dreams that they have always gets them into who they are. It always gets them into their identity. So identification is part of your the core of your spirituality, is core of your personality. Your personality is your spirituality as a spiritual being. You express it. And how you do what you do and how you do it and what you do should show that expression of your soul. So when you become awakened, when you go into, when you're awakened, when you're awake from your sleeping, your borrowed identity, lifestyle that has nothing to do with you, you don't reference your ancestors, you don't reference yourself. You get away from it. In fact, you become like lower than who you are. Because you do not know who you are. You cannot resonate with that identity that is your core self. And so being proud of your spiritual heritage, being proud of your Igbo identity, has a lot to do with your soul. Understanding the core essence of your soul. Not just about understanding your culture, which is an integral part of it, like I said, because your culture, your tradition has its roots, has its affiliations with your spirituality. But understanding it on an individual level and not just as a collective. It's not a trend. It's not just to sound cool, it's not just to sound like an intellectual person. It's for you to understand deeply that this is who you are. And this is why you are here. And this era that we're in, this is actually what's going on. Because I always say in my Facebook, there's a warfare going on that a lot of people do not understand. Because the moment you arrive into this world, understand that there's already like programs against you. And those programs attract your mentality, they attract your spirituality, they attract your person. And that's why you are introduced into a system that has nothing to do with you. You are introduced into a culture, a lifestyle, a heritage that has nothing to do with you. And then, a lot of people, because you are born into a certain religion, immediately you're into that religion, because you've not gotten to a certain level of acknowledgement, let me put it that way, you begin to attach yourself to these things, and then you identify with it. But in the long run, you will still be who you are. You are still who you are. And the moment you are awakening to this personality, because you're awakening to this conscious awareness of who you are, you begin to reflect. There must be changes. Your perspective changes. And your perspective mirrors your intention. And your intention mirrors your perspective. And your perspective is how you see what you see, how you see your cultural roots, how you see yourself as an Igbo person, how you see your family. A lot of people associate evil things with their background, and I don't even try to I try to understand that, and I still don't get it. Why you should associate everything that bad happening to you as something to do with your foundation? It doesn't really, it doesn't speak well. And the relationship with and with seeing yourself is one of the most ruthless struggles we face, and it is so because of the era that we are living in. It is so because of the era that we are born into. And I'm going to go further into this by speaking about our rituals that we participate in as an Igbo person. When you begin to, awaken, when your mind begins to open up to your identity, when your mind begins to open up to the core essence of yourself, you begin to get into spirituality. Because the truth is, there is no spiritual awakening without mental awakening. Your mind needs to waken up. And like my mentor, Eze Ogoji used to say, he would say the mind governs, the soul has to walk in alignment. How you see things, how you see the ways of your people, how you see your culture, how you see the way you dress, how you see your lifestyle, how you see your brothers, your sisters as those who are from the same cultural heritage as you, and how you see, your ancestors, ritual acts. It is a transaction. And for every good transaction, both parties or all parties involved are satisfied. It's not just, okay, because you go to the market and you buy, the buyer buys, the seller sells. Both parties are satisfied. The seller is satisfied because, oh, I've sold. The buyer is also satisfied because I got value for what I gave, or what, what I want to achieve, or what I went to the market to get. Nobody goes to market carelessly. And so when you begin your spiritual rituals, your daily rituals, which has to do with communing with your entities, your resumes, which has to do with connecting, one integral part of Igbo and the daily ritual is that it's a communion. And this communion is not just a communion of just, let's just do it. It's not just doing like, the Christian thing of doing morning prayers, afternoon prayers. It's deeper than that. It is a deeper part of meditation. It's a deeper part of connecting. It's a deeper part of association. And it opens up your divinity. The more you do it, the more you practice it, the more you master it. You master self. You master the understanding. You master the knowledge. And the process of which you do it has, there are different ways, but we know like we have major Igbo sacramentals, of which, the kola, the inzu, the chara, and the rest. But, everybody cannot, do it the same way. Because your level of understanding, your level of spiritual access is different. But basically, the reason why we do this, the reason why it's paramount that we do it, because it connects to those who were before us. It also connects to who we are now, because part of your spiritual transaction is to not just the regular praying to receive good things, to receive blessings, to receive money, to be important, to be relevant. It's deeper than that, because we're not just here to accumulate wealth, we are here to make an impact. And the purpose of why we are even here now is still part of it all. For everything that we do in spirituality, there's a price to pay. I speaking here before you, are paying a price. You listening to me, I'm paying a price. And it's all part of our spirituality. Nothing goes for nothing. The moment you take a first step, it opens up a level of access. When you are consistent, when you delve deeper, you seek knowledge, you get to know and familiarize yourself with who you are. It's not something that just happens overnight. It's a process. Because for years you've been living on borrowed identity, you've been living on false identification. You've been in Kechi, but you've been calling yourself Cynthia. And calling yourself something that doesn't resonate with your spirit. Like I said when I started, words are sounds. Sounds have weights. Sounds are symbolical. It all has meaning. And the moment you name something, you're giving it a meaning, you're giving it an identification. And the more you call that thing, whatever you call it, whether it's to elevate it or to reduce it, it reflects, and the effects is shown. The effects of what you call it is shown. So when you're practicing your daily rituals, understand that you're not just doing a routine. It's deeper than that. And you can only understand it when you see it from the perspective of which you are supposed to see. Perspective matters a lot in spirituality. How you see what you are doing, the impact you believe that it has on you, the effect you believe that it has on you. And let me not use the word believe, Because as Igbo people, we do not believe.
Yes.
We know what we are doing. We know that this is what we do. We acknowledge our ancestors. We acknowledge deities of Allah. We know it is a lifestyle, it's an expression of our soul. And our soul found expression in those things, and it interprets. It interprets in how we do it, and the whole process and the whole ritual and the manner of approach. And one of the core steps in practicing our daily rituals, the first two, because there's no farmer that goes to the farm without his tool. When going to the farm, you go with your tool because you are prepared for what you are going to do, your perspective. You don't go to the farm just to go and, just want to have a chill time. You're going there with a mission, you're going there with your purpose. So that is already your perspective. And to empower your perspective more is your intention. And what follows that intention is the tool you use. And one of the core, most important tools that goes in line with observing your spiritual rituals is the use of water. And I'm saying this because, yes, you have to cleanse. You have to prepare yourself. first process. Either you're cleaning your ears or washing your hands or washing your feet. It is the first two. Either you're bathing, you're cleansing. That is the first two you must observe. And we all know what water is. I don't think there's any need for me to like go deeper into it. It is spiritual. It's not just a survival, something that we should survive, because I mean our body is made of it. We use it daily. There's nobody that has to use water today. And so before you observe your rituals, the first tool you're using is your water to cleanse yourself. So that is the first important tool of observing your daily rituals, in cleansing yourself. And the moment you're already having that perspective in your mind, you're already mirroring that intention. So you're going to the bedroom to have your bath, you're going to prepare yourself. You've already set your soul, and your spirit acknowledges that process. Your spirit mirrors it. So by the time you are seated to observe and to call on your exhumates, to call on your entities to come and partake of that communion, you've already signaled it. Already, like the whole process of cleansing and preparing yourself mentally and body-wise has already interpreted the symbolism of what you're about to do. And it's not just about going to make requests or make demands or make complaints. It's understanding that it is about associating yourself with what makes you you. It is about associating yourself with the fullness of you. It's about expressing your soul. The soul finds expression in what we do, how we sit, how we talk, how we think, how we interpret things. Because I know a lot of people struggle with spirituality in terms of understanding that, they feel it's something that they do not understand, they do not know, they cannot comprehend. But it's not always like that. Whatever you're doing here, you taking the step on your own here is an expression of your soul. Your soul seeks knowledge. Your soul wants to know. You're not here to just fill space. You didn't just come here to fill space. You came here for a purpose, and that is your soul expressing itself. It's expressing itself. And because of them, I'm just going to conclude on my teaching. And I'm going to conclude with saying that when you identify with your authentic self, your true self, your sacred soul, it aligns you with your spirituality. It aligns you with your culture. It aligns you with the essence of your existence. It aligns you with the essence of your soul, the core purpose of why you are here. You're not just here because your parents made it and that's why you're here. It is not a mistake. It's not a happenstance. You're here because you are meant to be here. You're here and occupying the land, you're occupying the space, you're breathing the air, you're participating in every human activity because you're meant to do so. And understanding that, yes, there's a battle against your mind. And the battle against your mind uses technology. It uses civilization. I'm not saying that civilization is bad. I'm not saying that technology is bad. But when you identify the importance, or when you identify the significance and the loopholes of these things, because one of the ways that which we are attacked, let me put it that way, is through modernization. Because these people know that we are spiritual people. And everything that we do is spiritual. Everything that we observe is a ritual. It's a spiritual thing. That is how we were before, and that is still how we are now, and that is how we're still going to be tomorrow. It's always going to be like that. So to be authentic in your trueness is not just about identifying as an Igbo person, but understanding the essence of your soul's expression, understanding the importance of your soul, of the sacredness of your soul, and why you are here. And when you continue to do so, when you continue to identify with the coreness or the importance of the spirituality, it finds its expression in ordinary. And it will continue to be as it is now, as it was before, and as it's always going to be, because you cannot change it. A lot of things that we're born into, a lot of things that we see around us were in existence even before we were born, even before our fathers were born. They were there. And all of a sudden, a lot of people begin to see those things as archaic, as barbaric, as not cool, as not modern, as not civil, as not modern. Like it's not enough. Because they do not understand that the fact that they are here has a lot of meanings, has a lot of interpretations, has a lot of, the great power of why we are here. And one other thing I would like to emphasize on is the fact that when you're seeking knowledge, it's important that you understand the language of your soul. Everybody's soul language is different. And that is why when you're doing your daily rituals, it's not just One person can just use polar, inzu, edo, and lights. Another person will add additional things to it. Another person will add sounds, musical instruments to communicate, not to communicate, to praise, to express. That's why I keep saying expression of your soul, because expression of your soul goes beyond the words that you speak. Even though words are spoken, your attitude. Are you just doing it because you have to do it, or you're doing it because you understand the significance and the importance of what you're doing? You understand that it has effects, and the effect that it has is not just physical; it is both spiritual and physical. Just the way the effects of those who were before us, we see it around us. We know it, we acknowledge it, we recognize ourselves with it, we associate ourselves with it, and even after we have left, the impact of what we are doing now is still going to live and will come back. For those who are going to reincarnate back, because those who are going to reincarnate back are still going to come and meet whatever it is that we are laying the foundation of, we are building it. Because you don't reincarnate through your children or through your family, one way or the other, you're still going to come and attach yourself back to what it is that we are doing here today. So with that, I'm concluding my teachings.